backhand and forehand loops. And at this end, Tony, we've got Dmitry Bobrov of Russia, part of the really strong Russian sandpaper bat contingent here.
Yeah, we haven't seen him on the TV table yet, but he's been putting in some great performances. I've just noticed he actually beat Kushenko in the Russian tournament to get here, and we saw how well he's playing.
Yeah, so a 45-year-old beat Kushenko recently in the Russian Championships. He looks very, very up for it. And Alexander the Flash Fleming, very, very quick. We've never seen anyone move as fast as Alex. 2 years ago, Alex said that he practiced for 5 months solid with a sandpaper bat, especially for this competition. And he's still playing off the back of that and the practice he was doing. He's doing some fantastic practicing this morning with Chris Doran on the second table before the competition started this morning, getting some practice in, but very, very impressive. But Bobrov, very, very cool customer, very controlled, very experienced. He won't let Alex's dynamism get to him. He'll just work out a way to keep Alex a little bit quiet, and he's doing that with the angles there. Hard to call this one, I think.
Yeah, I think Bobrov will be very consistent, and let's be honest, he's been practicing with some top players there from Russia, so he'll certainly be very good at just keeping the ball on. I do think that Alex will have the more quality strokes, and then he plays a backhand like that down the line. Fantastic backhand for Bobrov.
Well, that's what we're talking about, is experience and keeping Alex quiet. Now Alex won't be able to run around quite so easily or so early. So whoever wins this one will have a very, very different style to play in the quarterfinals, because that'll be Richard Gonzalez from the Philippines, seeded 6, I think. Richard's been in the quarterfinals before, I think possibly a semi-final in years gone by. And Richard, a defensive player, especially on the backhand. So whatever happens here, they'll have to cope with something very, very different in the quarterfinal against Richard.
Yeah, he beat the Chinese player quite comfortably actually on table 2. Played very well, Richard.
He's looking strong. So Alex, 29-year-old from Leipzig, and 2 of the strongest sandpaper bat nations in the world, Germany and Russia. We've seen here in this championships the emergence of Israel and also Spain. It's good to see an increasing number of really top nations around the world. Filipinos doing so well. And they'll be represented next. And we're going to have, by tonight, a new world champion. Both Andrew Bagley, the reigning champion, and the previous multi-champion Maxim Shmiriev are out of the competition. They've been overcome, and so everybody is playing for a new title.
Yeah, you saw the speed of Fleming. Good backhand down the line from the Russian, but Fleming was over there, of course, as quick on his feet as he always is.
Yeah, it's not called the Flash for nothing. It's very, very quick on his feet.
8, 7.
And he kind of tempts the other player, doesn't he, to play wide to his forehand. So he runs around to look like he's going to smash his forehand from the backhand side. But then when it's played wide with his forehand, he's still in position for that as well. So really clever tactics from Alex Fleming.
Yeah, he doesn't fully commit, does he? I think he feels that he's quick enough. If he sort of is thinking about going round, he can then go either way. Stays kind of neutral, if you like.
Yeah, waits till the very last minute before deciding whether to run around his backhand and get his forehand in, or whether to stick and cope with the switch that might come out of his forehand. So, another first game double point ball. Bobrov 8-9, looking to turn this. 2 points would give him a lead, so that might be part of the rationale. Very smooth player, Bobrov. And he takes the 2 points.
Gets a net there. No better time to get a net.
On a double point ball.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, that's the same as getting 2 nets, right?
Well, and once again, the double-point ball has turned this game right around. So Fleming, looking in control one moment, is now 2 points down.
Yeah, things can change quickly in this form of the game. That was a beautiful shot from Alex. And then Bobrov across to the forehand, snapped it back.
Look at the angle on this. How close to the net that bounces at that speed. Incredible angle.
He did so well to make it come down after it had gone over the net to hit the corner of the table. Right on the side of the table, really. Well, 3-point lead suddenly for Bobrov. Amazing. Short serve to the forehand. Alex picks it up just off the end of the table. Alex just generating some lift there with his forehand, using his whole body to crouch down, get some topspin.
Yeah, what saved him there was it bounced very close to the end of the baseline. Otherwise, I think Dmitry Bobrov would have put that away.
Yeah, and Bobrov's so good at retrieving when the ball's attacked to his forehand. He's very good on a counter hit or counter topspin. Bobrov, very, very impressive. But when it's switched to his forehand, he sees it coming. Bobrov seems to hit the ball when it's rising on his forehand. Whoops. Alex there very, very cleverly playing it right into the crossover between Bobrov's backhand and forehand. Bobrov off balance. Fantastic play from Fleming, keeping himself in there at 11-13. Again, when Alex topspins to Bobrov's forehand, Bobrov's there, and he takes the ball on the rise. And look at the freedom in the wrist of Bobrov. Alex didn't even know which side it was going, never mind. A very powerful shot. So, that gives Bobrov game point. Tony, you said that he was a very, very good player and a danger in this competition. 45-year-old from Moscow has game points. He's still in the rally, and he's taken it. Alex goes off the end with that big forehand. And Dmitry Bobrov looking pretty considered there. Not so much of the celebrations. A little bit of relief there. And he's already thinking about the next game. You can bet your bottom dollar about that one.
Second game.
So Maxim hasn't lost and gone home. He's stayed to support his compatriot.
Yeah, so you win the first game, and then you get some advice from Maxim Shmiriev, who's your coach in the corner. You were going to say that Maxim's still there supporting his compatriot, even though he's knocked out of the competition, Tony.
Yeah, he's not going to do that, is he? He's a great guy, and he's going to stay and support his friends.
Yep. Well, he can't take your bat home, because they give you the bat to play with. There isn't one. So good on Maxim, supporting his compatriot, even though he's out of this competition. But a good start for Fleming.
Yeah, great start from Fleming this time. When you're a game down, to get 3 points straight away in the beginning of the second is fantastic.
Dmitry's, oh, that's a beauty. Ball was quite low, but he made the most of it with the power. I was going to say, Bobrov's very happy to do a similar kind of serve most of the time. And Alex is not too comfortable with it, even though he's getting used to it. Lovely strokes from Bobrov. Not trying to go too hard. A little bit of soft play there.
Yeah, he's a clever player, isn't he? He does vary the pace quite a lot. He's not allowing Alex to settle as one distance away from the table. He's having to adjust his position a lot. Alex.
So Alex looking keen as ever, 4-2 up in the second. Game down, but not phased. Oh, that's great. It doesn't look like he's hitting the ball that hard, but you watch the ball after it hits the table, it really carries on towards the barriers.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's got a really fast arm because he doesn't really step into the ball, so it's always a surprise at how hard it is. So his arm is travelling at tremendous speed.
Now that was a great serve down the line, but Alex, off balance, lifted it, and it just hit the edge of the table. Disappointment for Dmitry.
Yeah, great serve, unlucky, but Alex will be more than happy to take that edge. That is class, isn't it? One side to the other, Fleming having to run around like, oh, just no chance of keeping that on the table. He did well to get there.
He did, and Bobrov in the end played 2 balls with his backhand really wide of Alex's forehand to take the point. And again, the early forehand, it's almost like he's an early loop of the loop. Early counter topspin from Dmitry. Very, very assured, isn't he, with that forehand? Yeah, soft backhand and a very, very hard forehand in the middle from Bobrov. Alex doesn't quite know how hard the ball's going to come to him now. So it might be dropping short and he's got to lift it. It might be coming up at him and into his body.
Well, we've got another of our sort of top-seeded players, Colin, in a lot of trouble here.
Especially if he gets those nets.
Oh, well played.
Well, that's the fight we see from the likes of Bagley and Rumgay there from Alex Fleming. He's in trouble, but he keeps his fight and then just waits for the other person to overhit eventually.
Crowd loving that and his celebration. He's got a lot of support here, Alex. As you say, he's been here for 4 or 5 years now.
He has, and he's a very popular player. Crowd love him. He's a great sport, great competitor, lovely guy. He's fired up. So $2,500 if he wins this one. 5,000 if you get to the semis. Oh, an error there from Bobrov. Doesn't normally make that kind of error, and that just gives Fleming a tiny, tiny bit of light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah, I think there's 3 points on the trot for Fleming, so good run in the middle of the game, and he really needed it as well.
A similar service action again, long to the backhand. So Dmitry happy to kind of control with his backhand and play the ball around. That time Alex played very, very hard into his backhand. Brave Joan. Slightly softer serve. Alex had to pick the ball up, and I think that's a bit of an error there from Bobrov, although it was into his crossover. So Alex using clever change of pace and clever change of placement at the same time. And then overhits.
10-7.
Well, Bobrov finally breaks that run of points. I think that was at least 5 on the trot for Fleming, so they need to just focus himself again and make sure it doesn't give any more cheap ones away.
7-11.
Well, is that a cheap one? It's 11-7 to Fleming now. So Dmitry Bobrov serving. Sticking with the same service action. This time down the line into the forehand. Good power from Alex. He's really stepping into the ball now.
Yeah, it was. I felt Bobrov could have done a little more with that first forehand. The return of serve wasn't that hard, but when he didn't, Fleming really hit the nets on hard.
Yeah, a little bit soft, but it was higher as well.
13-7.
Fleming gaining an advantage, 2 points away from taking this second game. He's so good at that, isn't he?
Yeah, that backhand down the line. He manages to get an angle. It wasn't just straight down the line. It was going away from Fleming. Terrific.
Yeah. If Fleming doesn't get it right in the corner, we call it the little mini diagonal that Bobrov's got down the line. And now he tried it again. Didn't quite work that time, which gives, is it 6 or 7 game points to Fleming?
Yep, 6, I think.
Beautiful straight production on the return serve from Alex. Didn't have to play any more in that rally. 1 game all. What a great match this is. Winner plays Richard Gonzalez at the beginning of the 3rd and final game here.
That one.
Alex looks solid. Good rally. Great support for Alex Fleming here. Great German support, but support from all over the world. Very popular lad. Short return from Dmitry. Again, the backhand down the line. It's been a stop tactic for Dmitry. You can see there, Alex is playing a lot of balls into the crossover, kind of into the middle, just the backhand side of the middle of the table to try and keep Dmitry Bobrov not sure whether to use forehand or backhand. Very smart.
That's terrific play that from Alexander, wasn't it? The way he just adjusted to the change of pace that the net had brought into the ball.
Definitely. Again, Bobrov coming across to play from the middle where Alex put it. Alex very cleverly putting it into the middle of the table. Bobrov off balance there, trying to get to Alex's wide forehand. It was working for him before, but Alex is just pushing it further across into the middle of the table. And again, well, there's a clear tactic now. Bobrov doesn't know what to do when the ball's coming between his backhand and his forehand in the crossover.
Yeah, it's absolutely right. Dmitry loves to hit a backhand on the 3rd ball hard, and what Alex has done is he's gone further and further, just inching it across to the forehand side. Double point ball then for Fleming, really trying to increase this lead into a winning position. Oh, didn't quite get there in time, just missed that opportunity on the forehand.
Yeah. Played from wide forehand and then came scurrying back into the middle of the table to do another one, but wasn't quite there in time.
No, the ball just dropped, didn't it?
Yeah.
Before he got there.
Too low to be able to play a big shot. So, Dmitry Bobrov still in there. And then nice forehands from Dmitry, but he's not taking it as early and cracking it as hard as he was. It's making a little bit more heavy weather now. I'd like to see Bobrov hitting that forehand hard from the forehand side.
Good stuff though, wasn't it? Fleming tried to change it up, had a little chop block in there, but Dmitry moved in really quickly and got the next shot really deep into the corner. Bobrov wanted that backhand rally, didn't he? And Fleming said, no, I'm going to run around and smack that with my forehand.
He wasn't having any of that invitation to play backhand to backhand, was he? And what Fleming stopped the rock there. Could have been 7-1 up a minute ago with the double point ball. And then it was 5-4. So he'll be relieved to be winning points again. That forehand down the line, so difficult.
Yeah, it is. Didn't miss by far. He could see the frustration, and it just misses.
Yeah, the shorter line, as we were saying, is more risky. But that is an absolute corker. If Dmitry got that back, I'd have been amazed.
Right, so halfway through, the change of ends. Alex has just worked up a 2-point lead. And he'll take a well-earned breather as they go round. And tail down.
So Alex, on average, the more powerful player, certainly from away from the table. Dmitry Bobrov, more a counter, using the energy that Alex is putting into the ball against him with his counter looping. Oh, you can see the ball moving in the air.
Incredible fade on that forehand from Fleming, but Dmitry coped with it so well. Watch this.
I can't believe that Dmitry got around that as the ball was curling into his body. Fantastic athleticism from the 45-year-old from Moscow. Not a great serve. Serving into no man's land now.
Yeah, if you're gonna serve sort of long, you've got to get it fast, haven't you?
Oh dear. Problems for Bobrov now. Again, there wasn't a fantastic serve.
No.
Nothing special about it particularly.
No, he was
Two errors.
disappointed to miss that, wasn't he?
Yeah. So from 1 point down, Bobrov's now 3 points down. Feel like he could have been in the lead with those two.
10.
Bit too gentle.
Fleming's really tightened up, hasn't he? He's just not making any errors now. Just making sure everything's going on.
And into the crossover. So he's forcing Bobrov to move his own body out of the way all the time.
7, 10.
(7-10). Slowing it down again, Dmitry. Backhand down the line. Alex is just looking really solid now, though, and he's got the advantage. Ball hits the very top of the net post, but then bounces nowhere near the table. Gives Fleming 4-point cushion.
What a great effort, look at that. Oh, it's so unlucky. That was curling in as well, wasn't it?
And just so you know, if that had gone on the table after the top of the net post, it would have been fine. The net post is included as part of the net. If it hits that and goes over, that's fine. But it didn't. Alex is 4 up. Short serve to the forehand.
12, 7.
Again into the crossover. Well, it's a classic technique that Alex has found to play in the middle of Bobrov's backhand and forehand and then wide. He did it again with the serve.
Yeah, what he's also done is he's managed to play more forehands in this game. Bobrov hasn't been so effective with a switch wide, so he's played a lot more forehands from the backhand side without so much fear of that shot.
Yeah, the cracking backhand of Bobrov down the line hasn't happened so much. And as a result, Alex is being able to get around and get his forehand in, and the power of Alex Fleming has gradually got greater and greater throughout the match as he's found his range. There's the backhand wide of Alex's forehand. Hits the net. Rally continues. And again. Oh, Alex running around everywhere.
13,
You can't get them all, Alex.
Yeah, Alex frustrated with the net there.
Short serve down the line to the forehand. Bobrov again. Well, that was the classic. Backhand from Bobrov down the line to Alex's forehand, and then follow up with the forehand counter topspin. Taken early and wide. Beautiful play there from Dmitry Bobrov. Haven't seen enough of it in the last 2 games. But he's only 5 points away from winning. It's still there. He desperately needs this point, though. Alex is too powerful.
10,
Match
14.
point to Alexander Fleming. Bobrov facing match points now. Alex is in there, again he plays to the centre of the table, he wins. Alex Fleming puts his place in the quarter-finals.
Well, what an afternoon we've had. We say goodbye to Magic Max, the godfather of ping pong, and England's Andrew Bagley, the defending world champion. It means we will have a new name on that short list of just 2 previous winners. Let's have a look at our contenders.